Welcome! Our topic for today's lesson is fractions and ratios. Lesson duration remains 5 minutes. Let's check out the lesson objectives. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to learn the following. 1. Understand fractions and ratios. 2. See the relationship between fractions and ratios. 3. Share quantities in a given ratio. Please pay attention as we go through the lesson together. Fractions are used to represent smaller pieces, or parts, of a whole. Remember, a whole represents an object that can be split into equal parts called fractions. This fraction is represented by two numerals, one on top of the other. The numeral below the line is called the denominator. It represents the number of the equal parts into which the whole is divided. The number above the line is called the numerator. It represents the number of equal parts taken from the whole. Examples of fractions are 1/2, 3/4, 1/4, etc. Pause the video, copy the following assignment, and write the answers in your notebook. A ratio is a way of comparison. It allows us to compare the size or amount of two things. It is important to note that the symbol of ratio is known as is to. The diagram is an illustration of a ratio. It shows the comparison between 3 triangles and 2 squares. The ratio can be written as 3:2 or 3:2, and also as a fraction, as in 3/2. A ratio compares two quantities by division, with the number being divided called the antecedent, and the number that is dividing called the consequent. Ratios are helpful when we want to share or compare two or more things in mathematics and in real life. Let's see an example. Question 1. There are 20 students in JSS 2 class. 13 boys and 7 girls. What is the ratio of boys to girls in the class? Solution. Total number of students in the class is 20. Number of boys is 13. Number of girls is 7. Remember that ratio is used for comparison. Therefore, the ratio of boys to girls in JSS 2 class is 13:7. That is, 13 boys is to 7 girls. That's brilliant. Ratio can be expressed as a fraction. The first number of the ratio becomes the numerator, while the second number of the ratio becomes the denominator. Since a ratio can be written as a fraction, it behaves like a fraction. Ratios can be expressed as equivalent ratios just like fractions. Let's see these examples together. 3/4 can also be written as 3:4. 1/2 as 1:2. 1/3 can be written as 1:3. That's brilliant. The sharing of quantities is usually best done by use of ratios. Quantities can be shared using the following steps. Step 1. Divide the quantity by the sum of the ratios to get the value of one share. Step 2. Multiply the corresponding ratio by the value of one share. Let's see an example. Question 1. Share 80 bags of rice between Peter and Paul in the ratio of 5:3 respectively. Solution. Step 1. Divide the quantity by the sum of the ratio to get the value of one share. Quantity is 80 bags of rice. Sum of ratios is 5 plus 3 equals 8. Therefore, 1 share is 80 bags divided by 8, which equals 10 bags. Step 2. Multiply the value of 1 share by corresponding ratio. So, Peter has 5 shares. 5 times 10 bags, which equals 50 bags of rice. And Paul has 3 shares. 3 times 10 bags, which equals 30 bags of rice. That's awesome! Pause the video, copy the following assignment, and write the answers in your notebook. In summary, we have learned the following in this lesson: the meaning of fractions and ratios, the relationship between fractions and ratios, and how to share quantities in given ratios. I believe you enjoyed the lesson. See you in our next class. Thanks, and goodbye.